I was holding that burp in for the opening of this video. You're welcome. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to focus on something I've probably bitched about before, but feel like bitching about again because I've run into it again. I'm on this website. It's called Tapastic, and it is an online comic website for people to come together and make comics, share ideas, promote their work, and content create. Unfortunately, Tapastic, or now as it is referred to as Tapas, Tapas.io, has of course been taken over by SJWs, which, get into like a virus that just gets into everything good and makes everything good bad. So, this happened, I guess, a few years ago. I got into Tapastic, and I got into it when it was at the beginning stages of the SJW takeover. The reason I say this is because everything on this site, if it isn't, some edgy novel about a girl finding out she has superpowers and figuring out that she's, like the sole survivor of a people that got wiped out and her getting revenge on this, fascist organization out to kill her for no other reason than greed. And then it's a BDSFM, whatever the hell, homosexual romance comic, which is in abundance on this site. I mean, even if it's not, Valentine's or romance season, that's all you have on here. These are the top popular comics on this site. They have like a top 10 here. These are the top most popular at this moment in time. You have Money, which the front depicts a man bound up with another man sticking his face in his face, like kissing him, and one guy's like, "No, I don't wanna," and the guy's like, "You're gonna." The next one is called Under the Eaves, which is, I don't know what, it's a girl dressed like Santa Claus, but it's not a Santa Claus outfit because it has ears like a fox. Next one's called Ghost Eyes, which looks kind of interesting, but I don't know, I gave it a shot. I wasn't a big fan. I Wish for a Boy, which is about a girl, she's like praying, and then there's a boy behind her blushing. Gee, I wonder what that one's about. Another one called Where's My BL Something, which is a picture of two men, one looking off in the distance and one swooning over the other. Hate You, Love Something, which shows a man in a hoodie down on a bed being pushed down by another man who's like grabbing his collar. Moonshine, which is two pale gothic people kissing. Sunnyside Skies, which is about two homosexual men swooning over one another. One has a coffee, and the other looks to be in a coffee uniform, heavily reminiscent of Starbucks. The ninth one is called My Forefathers, which is one younger man looking very surprised and an older man looking down at him in a seductive form. And then the last one is called Theurgy, or something to that effect. I guess it has to do with demons because the cover art is of a man with horns and spiky ears holding another man's face like this while he just looks like I don't want to do this, like up at him. So as you could pretty much get the gist of this site is just all, if it isn't homosexual romance, then it's about teenage girls having superpowers. Like, this whole site has gone to absolute shit. And if I could show you the fucking the title card that they used for Pride Month, the picture is like actually fucking atrocious. It is the worst, It is the worst Steven Universe ripoff art I have ever seen in my life. I don't know what comic this is from. I'm not even going to give them, the revenue. I'm not even going to click on it. But it's of course a brown person, because God knows what we'd do without one of those in a comic. with big glasses, and you can't tell whether either one of them is a male or a female, but one of them's got like red hair and it's really spiky, and they got the SJW nose. You know how it's drawn if you've seen this shit before. And then you got another one which is a blonde. It looks like a guy, but he's got like a nose. He's in a dress. There's some boobage, but I don't know if he's just like bending forward, or what that's supposed to like. If that's supposed to be reminiscent, like, oh, he's a guy, but he's got a rack. Okay. And he's got just a nose that just comes out to here. Don't understand it. And all of these, if you were to just see these, I just can't fucking fathom what the fuck happened to this site. Literally, everything is chibi and rainbows and men just swooning over each other. Men, like, kind of looking at each other, but not looking at one another. And I'll tell you what, some people tell me I'm crazy. Like, no, that's not what it's about. Come on, get over that shit. And I'm like, but it's all that goes on this site. Literally nothing else. If you actually upload anything creative on Tapastic, you don't get any hits, you don't get any attention, you don't get anything. Unless it's something homosexual or gender related, then you get 1 million views. And I prove this point. I came on here and I wrote a homosexual, a very stereotypical, low-grade, shitty, gender-bending story about 2 boys in a school, and they're like obsessed with each other, but not obsessed with each other. And I wrote this whole thing just as a test, just to see what would happen. I got fucking 50 hits. I got all these fucking hits. And it was a light novel. I drew some like pictures in there too. Not even of the boys just like together, just like of them separately, but in like very, very edgy stances. And these people just ate it the fuck up. And it really, really made me weep for the fucking future of online comics. If this is the standard, this is absolutely horrible. This is truly upsetting. Because that's all it is. It's funny because you think it's like a joke, and then you come onto these sites, and it is every single. If you don't, I'll come up with a drinking game for you. Come on a Tapastic, and every time you see 2 boys secretly swooning over each other in a profile picture for a comic or a novel, take a shot. Every time there's 2 boys in a panel together, take a shot. You will be drunk without even like passing on to the next page. You'll be drunk without even having to scroll your fucking pen, your fucking mouse. And that's all this shit is. I mean, I've seen maybe 2 good comics on here the entire time I've been exploring Tapastic. Absolutely nothing on here tickles my fancy, and that is sad. You have A Queen right here, which is about a man on a beach. Shittily drawn, might I add. But it's about a man on a beach with a fish man, and they're just like in each other's arms. And I'm not against homosexuality or anything. That is completely fine. But when it's literally all of this comic website, like, they should just change Tapastic to like the actual just LGBT comic site, because that's what it is at that point. You can't find one comic on here that isn't homosexual or gender bender related. It's fucking, I've tried. It's actually impossible. And of course, it's all drawn in that, that branch off style of Steven Universe. Or it's reminiscent of like an anime, or, something to that effect. It's either copying something else. Just all of these artists and writers, I'm sorry, just completely uninspired hacks. I've never seen the biggest collaboration of just absolute trash and shit in my life. I wish everyone on this site just the worst of careers. I wish them absolute atrocity. I do not understand how this shit could exist. And it's just upsetting, because I've seen what people can do with their art and with their writing. People are able to create such incredible things. But lately, I just feel like and I know this has been a pretty big thing. I haven't really talked that super much about it, or I've tried to, get around to talking about it, but I've never really gained up the nerve. But seeing it tonight, it's just kind of, comics is just shit now. Comics are awful. It's just the SJW agenda has just completely leaked into everything. It's in movies now. It's in books. It's in video games. It's in comics. I fucking hate it. My friends ask me why I hate everything. This is why I hate everything. Because everything popular is fucking taken over by this bullshit. Everything that was big or was meant to be big is just being completely drowned in this sea of strict homosexuality and strict... It's like... Who's that guy that said... State-enforced... Was it Sam Hyde? State-enforced homosexuality. That's what it feels like. Because now it feels like everywhere I go, it's being shoved down my throat. And there's just so fucking much of it. I cannot go anywhere on the internet without it getting shoved in my face. And homosexuality is completely fine. Whatever gender you want to be. Well, I can't say that mainly because I don't believe in 130 genders or whatever. I believe in homosexuality and I believe in transgenderism. That's it. That's where I draw the line. Because that's what I grew up on. I do believe that when you grow up, when it comes to outlooks like that, you have to set boundaries. I don't think we can start identifying each other. See, I'm not as nice as Boogie and all of them. I think Boogie tries to be far too nice to people, and I believe that that's killing him. Because all these assholes you cannot please. I was watching a video the other day of him saying how he wants to fucking kill himself because these pricks online just wouldn't leave him alone. And I'm like, if that was me, I would do, of course, the logical thing. I would, turn it off. And people had suggested that to him. But Boogie was saying how, they find you. He has to check his email. He has to update these things. He has to regulate this shit. And yet, all these hateful comments that these people get to him, and these people with these absurd lifestyles and these fucking beyond absurd views who are completely drowning the entertainment field, just these absolute asshats, they're fucking out for blood. And it is, I believe, God I hope not, but it is killing Boogie. Because he's one of those YouTubers that just tries to be everyone's friend. Tries to be very nice, tries to be very outgoing. But you won't ever see me in that light. Never, not in a million years. I couldn't get along with these people if you begged me to. If you offered me immortality, I probably would. But then the second I got immortality, I'd go right back on it. But these people, it's just everywhere. You go onto DeviantArt. DeviantArt now, whenever I scroll, it's literally just overweight cartoon characters. Super, not even regularly overweight. I mean, they literally can't move. Their stomach is bigger than their limbs. Or anything. Their stomach is 10 times the size of the rest of their body. Or pictures of naked women. And I'm like, where is the fucking art? I am actually, I don't even want to be one of those people I was born in the wrong generation. But as far as art and comics goes, we are headed in a fucking horrible direction. And every single one of these writers, every single one of these artists, I'm telling you now, you should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You should actually, feel disgusting for the absolute schlock that you put out. You should actually be ashamed. And you should actually put down your fucking writing and drawing implements until you either fucking learn a better way, quit being uninspired, quit just copying other people's fucking art. I don't know what the fuck you're getting at. The world doesn't need 100 different Steven Universes. The show came, the show went, it was popular, let it the fuck go. come up with a new style, come up with new characters, come up with shit that isn't just a complete copy of what the person next to you is doing. That'd be like, how would you like it? Let me think of an example here. And I'm so tired of hearing about fucking, like, oh, this is the age of fucking homosexuality. Like, they never had a fucking year before. They never had a decade. Fuck you, pal. They had so long. They've been around for so long. There are so many different places you can go to exercise your rights. People act like they're so fucking... This is America. People act so much more privileged and so much more fucking downtrodden than they could be. I have absolutely no sympathy for these people whatsoever. Everyone here is just, oh, woe is me, woe is me. Half the comics I go on here... Now that's horrible. Half the fucking sites I go on here is just all these comics that I'm looking at. It's literally, even especially the gender bender comics, it's just panels upon panels of like bi people and transgender characters, cartoon characters, all lazily drawn like shit, just bitching and whining. Why won't anyone love me? Why won't anyone understand my lifestyle? If there's so many fucking gay people, if there's so many transgenders, if there's so many people out there with 169 genders, if there's so fucking many of you, how the fuck are any of you single? How the fuck are any of you unable to find someone? It's all I'm seeing. It's all that's all over the place. How are you people alone? How are you finding people that disagree with your lifestyle if you surround yourself with people like this on the daily? I don't fucking understand. I don't get it. I honestly don't. I can't fathom this modern age. I can't fucking stand the modern day that we are in. We are in a time where, I swear to God, we're just ruled by the fucking brainless. We're in a world of fucking brainless people. All this from a comic site that bugged me. But you know what it is? It starts here. For me, it starts in a field that I used to enjoy and now am slowly watching sink in a ship that just has, multicolored dildos piled on top of it, and it's fucking sinking and it's fucking dying and nobody gives a shit. And there were times when it's like, oh, the Marvel's age of SJW comics is over, and maybe we'll be able to get back to good shit. No. Marvel's a big company. Marvel will fucking pander and pander and pander. All of the online artists that I've known are pandering assholes. All of them just do whatever the fans want them to. Look at this original character. He's so great. You should make him gay. Yeah, but that's not really how I wrote the character of the story. Make him gay, or we're leaving. Okay, he's gay. Look at it. Look, I'm gonna show him sucking a dick in the next panel. Oh, let me just put that on NSFW so none of the younger kids see it. But younger kids should be told about gay shit too, and we'll make it so that we'll blur it out. But then but they should know about it. That's actually a very good point. Why did they blur that shit out? And at the same time, they're given the option to blur that shit out, but at the same time, they want kids as young as possible to know about homosexuality and transgenderism. And, no, I'm sorry, they don't want to teach kids about homosexuality and transgenderism. They want to turn kids homosexual and transgender. Which I know isn't the case all over the place. Relax, take a breath. I know, I'm being grade A misogynistic right now. I can't wait for the comments to blow up over this one. And this video is running on 19 videos, so better cut it short soon. But I mean, there are cases, and you cannot deny this. If you deny this, I'm literally just going to pull a hair out of my head. You cannot deny the fact that there are people out there that don't want to teach kids about homosexuality and transgenderism. They legit just want to turn kids homosexual and transgender. There are people who have convinced their kids they're straight, impressionable children, dressing their kids up like girls, cutting all their hair off, putting them in dresses or regular clothing, depending on, against the child's wishes, and it is fully a form of child abuse. Especially nowadays, never have I been ashamed of white people in my life. Like, when I was growing up, I listened, I went to a lot of color, I lived in a lot of, not a lot of colored neighborhoods, but for a good portion, I was in a lot of neighborhoods where, let's just say, my family didn't fit in very well. And one school year, I remember I went to it was like an all Spanish school. They were all Spanish, black. I was the second white kid in that whole school, besides my two younger brothers who were on the other side of the school. So we were the only 4 white kids in this whole school. Let me tell you, I didn't even talk to anyone my first, half of the year there. Let me tell you, when I say I got bullied to high fucking heaven. I didn't even know about, I was brand new. They called me Jew boy. I wasn't even Jewish. But we were in the neighborhood, and there were Jews by the neighborhood, so hey, he's white, I guess he's Jewish. I had never been bullied before, and it wasn't all that, like looking back on it now, it's just, it was just a bunch of bratty kids. But I just find it comedic when people bitch about white people being insensitive, and then you throw a whitey into a situation like that, and suddenly the tables are flipped completely. But the thing is, it's not, I don't think it's even really a point of white versus black. I think it's just educated people versus shitheads. And damn it, this video is just going on in 100 different directions. Sorry, this is becoming so much more of a rant than I wanted it to be. On the whole, I really just can't stand the modern day. There is just so much bullshit. We're being not to down Trump or raise him up even, because I don't even really follow politics. I try to, but in the end, every time I end up looking at politics, I realize everyone's just lying and trying to piss in each other's mouths, so I just stop. But politics is horseshit. Our money system is horseshit. Everything we have here is horseshit. So very close to me always said that if there was a button right in front of him that he could press that just resetted the universe, he would fucking jump on it with both feet, no questions asked. And I'd feel inclined to agree with him, quite so. Because this path we're going down, this is just, you've heard about the end of the world, but personally, I think the end of the world did occur in 2012. What occurred in 2012 was the beginning of the end of the world. I solemnly believe we are fucked beyond belief. We are doomed. It was fun while it lasted.